Welcome to our 45th Platform and Treasury Council meeting. So today we're going to cover governance initiatives, platform developments, and upcoming proposals. Nick has posted the agenda in the chat. So these bi-weekly meetings keep the community informed. They give proposers direct access to the council, and they maintain transparent communication across our global ecosystem. For those of you that aren't aware, what we're building, we're creating the internet of money. So that's 7 billion mobile users that can send data instantly, but still can't truly own or move money. The Telcoin Association is changing that. We're building the Telcoin network and Tel as a blockchain standard for global telecommunications. So by this, telecom operators, they already run the internet. With Telcoin network, they'll also secure the blockchain, bringing accessible digital finance to every mobile subscriber worldwide. So how does this work? The platform architecture is 3 integrated layers. The Telcoin network, which is an EVM compatible layer 1 blockchain, which is validated exclusively by GSMA mobile network operators, which creates a new revenue stream for telecoms. Telex, this is the liquidity layer for user-owned self-custodial exchanges. And then TAN, which is the mobile apps that connect users to blockchain services and each other. So through this, there are 4 minor groups and a shared governance. So these are validators, which are your GSMA MNOs, liquidity miners, your developers, and stakers, and they all participate equally. Each group earns fees and TEL rewards for their contributions. So this alignment essentially turns participants into owners and defenders of the network. So through this, the TEL token and governance. TEL, as I hope you all know, is the gas token. It's the staking asset, the governance token. Telcoin, the association, is a Swiss franc, which is governed by 5 elected councils. Our platform and treasury oversees sustainable platform development and responsible token economics. So why does this matter? Every decision we make brings us closer to uniting telecom operators to billions of users around the shared blockchain infrastructure. So this is where money moves as easily as data on a mobile phone. As your elected representatives, we're committed to careful proposal review, transparency, and faithful execution of the governance framework. So with that, let's move on to today's agenda. So just to give a recap of the last meeting, Grant provided the latest updates on the Telcoin network development and ongoing work towards strengthening and advancing the network. Nick, or Blue Lights as many know him, shared an update of the web unification project and ongoing efforts to bring Telcoin's web properties and user experience together under a more unified platform. Grant and Parker discussed Tel v3 and the next steps surrounding the TGIP, which is continuing the governance and technical process for the Tel token upgrade. And then Angelica led an open Q&A and addressed questions submitted by the community through the live chats. So essentially the meeting concluded with a review of the platform with the dates and everything like that, which you guys already know. So should we kick it off with Grant? Let's get a Telcoin network update, get the exciting stuff going.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Adam. So Telcoin network progress today and some of the outstanding roadmap items that are ahead from Mainnet. We are in our 3rd week of our really large security assessment that involves the one half of the protocol, really the execution layer. So far, we've had a bunch of great feedback that's really helped us production harden and just address the kind of, so far it's all just been minor details that I think are important, but nothing major or substantial so far. So the protocol team is able to address that feedback in real time. We're on top of everything so far. And yeah, after this 4-week assessment, we will have an additional 5th week with the researchers to review and review any of the work that we've applied and make sure that those patches are fully and directly closed for the vulnerabilities. The Other than that, while this security assessment is going on, we are doing some targeted improvements and really just deep AI assisted scans and parts of the protocol that we want to make sure is just ready for mainnet. Some of the notable work that we've accomplished in these past 2 weeks is some hardening around the epoch boundaries and those checkpoint signatures that every validator is required to make in order to keep the protocol moving forward. We have addressed some Byzantine resistance specifically for transaction forwarding, RPC correctness, and just general support for Ethereum tooling so that users who are using the open source library that is accessible have a very familiar user experience and that the protocol is providing accurate information. We've also done some updates and tidying up and refinement around off-chain events for the Tel precompile and for validator smart contracts, mostly for off-chain tracking and helping to build out the infrastructure that makes the blockchain's data meaningful to us humans. And we've also found more ways to just improve the overall resilience and caps for both networking and our storage. So finally, in preparation for mainnet, I think another really big exciting development, in my opinion, but not so flashy necessarily, but we've moved the documentation for that, all the markdown and the docs that are on docs.telcoin.network, moved that into the protocol repository on GitHub. So now our documentation is part of the same process that we evaluate for all pull requests and changes to the code. And that's really important, I think, especially as we're getting near this launch, to make sure that our documentation is accurate and that it is up to date. In the past, it's been in separate places, and so it's kind of this separate chore to think about, but it's been streamlined into the same place, so it's part of our review process now. And yeah, I'm really excited. That'll be released very soon. It will also be a part and integrated into the unified web presence. But again, as that is in development in this repo, this will still be the ultimate source of truth. Other than that, I want to, looking forward to kind of post mainnet launch, but we as this security development is going on too, we are making progress so that we can really hit the ground running, and that is to support multiple worker lanes for the validator nodes. I think we've mentioned this briefly in the past, and there's some discussion online, but really it's a distinct capability for Telcoin network that validators can operate parallel fee lanes. This is something that's also really big within the GSMA and telcos in general, kind of called like a quality of service. It's very much part of the future forward feature set for telcos, and it's something that we're able to achieve at the protocol level, and that I think is going to be a really, really important feature for us because it allows us to apply fees by transactions and classifications, and it's something that we can essentially prioritize certain transactions or apply different fee structures for different sorts of transactions without having to launch a separate L2, carving out native tokenomics, etc. So really excited to see that progress that the protocol team's making in that regard. Yeah, I think too this, all these updates are really kind of small, and they kind of just feel like we're on that final stage of whittling down the masterpiece here in preparation for this launch. These are not headline features or just major announcements, but a lot of this work has been meticulous attention to detail, and it's exactly what we need to be doing to produce a successful mainnet launch rather than a fast one. So, as we get close to these last 2 weeks in the security assessment, we've taken our time to really focus and narrow our focus on different parts of the protocol. So to make sure that mainnet launches with a big splash. So yeah, I think finally, kind of on that note, we've been working closely with partners in anticipation of mainnet launch, and actually a real world use case, focused on a real world use case that is specifically on agentic payments for telecoms using Telcoin network. So we have a demo under active development. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback for that. And I think that's going to be a considerable interest to the MNOs in the broader industry. So there's a lot of parallel things here that we're working on to make sure that, that not only is the protocol launched and the validator set is there, but that there's meaningful volume and that there's real applications on there. So, as always, the roadmap website is going to be the best place to kind of follow this along. Yeah, we will have those updates out shortly this week. I'll be around to answer any questions. Thanks.
Amazing. Thank you so much. A lot of exciting things happening in the last little bits for cleanups and everything. So yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Perfect. So if we move on to the web unification project update, so that's Nick or Blue Lights.
Thanks, Adam. Yes, I will just share my screen. Should be able to see it now. Yeah, so the web unification project is coming along very well. We've completed the third sprint. We're already into, so this is like a week ago or a week and a half ago. I don't think I showed these pages on the last one. I think this was after. I think on the last PC meeting, we showed the home page and the MNO landing page. So on this sprint, we have had another 4 or 5 pages done. So this was the completed sprint 3, and we're now in sprint 4, which will be something I'll show you, you guys on the next PCTC meeting. But yeah, this is the developer landing page, super important page for us. A lot of thought has gone into it. Content is the first draft, not final, but these are the pages that have been built and designed. So you can see as you land on the developer landing page, we've got, easy directions to go. You've got the open path, build as you want, or you've got the actual official GSMA member application developer path. So we're making it nice and easy for developers to land on the page. And we're going to have a lot more content on this developer landing page, especially with some more features and tools that examples and stuff that developers can use. But we just need to get a bit further along and get Mainnet closer before we kind of update loads of stuff. But yeah, there's going to be like nice and clear. It's all built for mobile as well, so I'm showing you this on a desktop, but it's all optimized for mobile devices as well. But in essence, you start building, it's going to give you loads of CTAs to go off to where you want. Give you more information on how it works, developer learning centers as well, where developers can go from here and take a deeper dive into like technical documentation, the deep wiki as well about the network. So we're trying very hard to make it a nice, easy, gentle kind of landing page that will take you off down the rabbit hole as you want to go. And again, like a typical form to fill out for a GSMA member to become an official developer. So yeah, so we've got this developer landing page done. We've got some other static governance pages done. Oh no, there's one more here. Where is it? Find it in a second. About the Telcoin network. Yeah, we've also got the about the Telcoin network page built out, which goes over what the Telcoin network is, Telcoin platform, learn more about the network, learn more about the Telcoin Tel token, which is obviously the native gas token of the network, how it works. Then we've got more about the ecosystem as well, leading you off to Telex and explaining what that is, and the TAN, Telcoin Application Network as well. And just more, we will have here, this is not finished yet, but we will have a global map of some kind here that we're just working on still, which will potentially show you, as MNOs come on board and things like that. But yeah, it's still a work in progress, but this will look really cool. We've seen some iterations of it, but we weren't happy with it, so we're just going back to sort of tweak and change that. We've also started work on the governance pages. So as we all know, the telcoin.org current governance website is a plethora of information, almost information overload, and it's great content, but it kind of hits you straight away. So what we've tried to do here with the association page is break it down, into an easier kind of understandable way of how the Telcoin Association and the minor groups and the councils work. So you start off with a nice kind of easy intro into the association. It gets further down, and then you can discover, and then from here you can go into deeper pages. So we've tried to layer it so it's not hitting you all at once. You can go deeper and deeper and go into different layers and layers and layers, depending how much you want to go in. And then obviously just like about the council, more information, and this will take you into the deeper documentation. And we're going to be having links to the latest tel IPs that are in the forum and the TIPs, telex stuff that are here. That should make it easier for users to see current proposals and direct links to them. Sorry, my dog's going a bit mad. And we also have, I think that was the last page, or association document, not this one. Bear with me. I'm trying not to show the links to the, there is one more page somewhere. Governance forum. I can't see it here. Telcoin Network Ecosystem Partnerships, Governance, Learn and Explore. No, I can't find the other page here at the moment, but it's only just, oh no, actually it is in, I think it's down here, sorry. No, it's not that one, but it basically takes you into what one of the kind of like current telcoin.org deeper pages will look like on this design, but it's the same content that's on the telcoin.org site. So all in all, we are coming along, and just for anyone who didn't see last week, we've got the homepage, which looks like this with these nice little ecosystem boxes that you can expand. Again, we wanted very clearly to choose your journey, depending if you're a mobile network operator, if you're a developer, a holder, liquidity provider, business and infrastructure, or even just a new user, that we want to kind of give you the basics of stuff. And then obviously introducing Tel, going over the token, build with Tel, how to get Tel. So the homepage is going to be nice and easy for new users to understand. And this is the point of unifying the whole network. And again, just in case nobody saw it before, just the MNO landing page. For MNOs, they can come on here, can read through, clearly understand what the opportunity is, and then can also understand what validating the network is, and what they gain from it. And again, fill out for more information and request a conversation. So yeah, all in all, it's coming along really well. We're probably just under halfway through, I think. So yeah, the next PCTC meeting, I'll have an update on the next sprint, which will be some more pages, and we'll just keep going until we get to the point of it's ready to launch. So not too long now. Appreciate all the patience and hard work. A lot of the earlier stages we're going through research, then design, but the good thing is we're in the build phase now, so pages are just getting churned out every week. So we'll have more information on the next PCTC meeting for sure.
Amazing, thank you. So like as Grant said earlier, we're about to hit the ground running. Yes. So no, I love that. Absolutely love that. So next we have the Exex blockchain block explorer, sorry. And I believe that's you again, Nick.
Yeah, let me just sort my pages out. While I'm just getting this page up, Grant, could you maybe just give a short sentence of what the Exex feature is? You'll probably be able to give a better description than me.
Absolutely. The Exex feature stands for execution extension. It's a way that the protocol can directly support dApps by rerouting critical data that's primarily used on validator nodes to reach consensus. But applications may find great value in it as well. So you can imagine as the network reaches consensus or a transaction is submitted, we create a new batch. ultimately what the feature allows is just to make that data available as soon as the other nodes have it available too, so that other dApp developers can build and integrate directly into the protocol. So one of the examples that is a kind of a straightforward use case is a block explorer. So we have built the Exex feature, and Nick has been able to kind of integrate the block explorer directly into a observer node that's synced with the network using this. So as the node receives information to build the next block, the application can also get that same information and in parallel generate whatever it is that they want to do with that information. So in this case, as the next block comes in, the protocol is just a regular node would verify signatures, ensure that the block is consistent, and go through its whole verification process. And in parallel, Nick's application is parsing transaction data, mapping the amount of gas used, taking the liter, and filling out a separate database that is then used by the front end to load this website.
Thanks, Grant. Yeah, and in essence, it's using an API back to the observer node to pull in the information. So it's super fast. We've done a lot of work on it. There's still a lot of work to do, but now it goes back to Genesis. So all transactions are here. You can see like the latest transactions are coming in. The Explorer loads very quickly when you click on anything. We don't have any delays at all, really. I mean, I'm just surprised myself at how quick it is, but you can go through all the transactions all the way back to the very beginning. Go to the oldest one from block 1, back to the latest one. Obviously, clicking on a transaction gives you all the information, what block it was in, the timestamp from 2, all the details about it. So it's working super well as a block explorer. Now, the other little extra things we've built into it for now, there's more stuff that we need to put in here. Like right now, this is acting like a traditional EVM block explorer. So we've got latest blocks and latest transactions, but we will have another column here, which is the consensus blocks, which is a layer below, which is going to give more information into how the network works and how the consensus layer works. That is just going to come in another phase, not too far away, but it's a lot of work. So still working on that. But there's you can connect your wallet. Once you connect your wallet, you can then click on your own wallet. Here, you can see all your transactions that you've had. You can load more. Keep going down, telling you what they are. You can also see your token transfers, what you've transferred. There's an export CSV button as well, which will just create a CSV file of your transactions once you've connected your wallet. The other thing we built in, which was a token registry contract, and shout goes out to Noah for that, because Noah smashed it and he built a token registry contract. But that basically means now you can start typing a token that's on the approved list. So there's going to be a process to have your token approved to be able to be displayed on the official block explorers. But yeah, and then I've added the autocomplete list, so you can type in and you can click on EUSD, for example, and the token registry actually pulls in the metadata for the token. So it pulls in the logo, it pulls in whatever metadata is associated with that token itself. And token issuers will be able to also update their data on chain, not like this current way with other networks where you have to kind of fill out a form and off chain. You'll have I believe you'll have an NFT tied to your token as the admin of that token. So you'll be able to update metadata live on chain. If you change your website address or you've got some other information you want to update, or contact details, for example, you can do that yourself. But all the current tokens that are supported on testnet are all on here. So you can go on, you can see all of the transactions from that token. Type in any of them, just start typing in E, and then you can scroll down and see the whole entire list that's on here. Raptel's on there as well. Yeah, so all in all, it is, you know, this is open to the public now. Everybody can access it. We are working on this. Obviously, this block explorer is right now running on against testnet. We are going to be working on one code base, that, but also like a separate instance which will support mainnet as well. You know, there's a lot of work to do there as well. And then down the bottom here, if I can hide my thingy, we've also got a status link which will take you to a live status of the current Adiri testnet. From memory, these ping every 60 seconds. So you can see right now that everything's green. You know, all the validators are on, current validators are online. You can also see the RPCs and the consensus block progress. So this is a live actual status of the actual testnet. So yeah, so all in all, I don't think I've missed any features. There is another feature. This is the epochs page. It's working, but it's not fully working as I intended it or we intended it. It kind of does it from when it starts a new epoch from one block, and it doesn't have the data. It's not really accurate until towards the end of an epoch. But yeah, this is a work in progress, this page. Another page is the validator page. It shows the leaders that are currently in the committee. Again, this page needs some more work as well. But the most important thing is the blocks page is working fine. Transactions page is all up to date. Searching for tokens. You can also do your, for example, if I did a transaction on Telpets, let's have a look. The transaction will go through and the Explorer will, there we go. So that transaction's gone through. So this page does refresh automatically, but I'll just do it for the thing we go. So the latest transaction here, you can see is what I've just done 16 seconds ago. So, you know, it's instant, it's picking up the data really quickly, which is great, and it's been running smoothly. So yeah, if anyone finds any bugs, it's optimized for mobile too. However, I'm not 100% happy with the mobile layout. I'm still working on that, but desktop, it looks great. Mobile needs a bit more work, but yeah, we're getting there, and it's all up there for you for anyone to access. Telscan.xyz.
Yeah, and just to add to that too, like, it looks awesome, Nick, and great work. It's exciting to see developers building with the Exex feature, and you know, this is a critical step to just, you know, decentralizing block explorers for mainnet, right? Just like and making it a viable product with redundancy and just having multiple options, so users can access this data in meaningful ways with Telscan.io, Telscan.xyz, any other block explorers and dApp developers out there. So awesome stuff, and great use case of Exex.
Thanks, Grant. Well, you put in a lot of work to help me do it, so you know, I'm not going to take all the glory.
Yeah, no, well done, team. Some amazing work happening there. Nick, I don't believe you're speaking any longer, so go give that dog some cuddles.
Yeah, he's been fine all day.
And oh, Manu, you've got rid of the deep in the forest background. I was about to comment. It looks amazing. Okay, so
yeah, I love that background. I love that background.
Next on the agenda, then we have Tel v3 updates, which is Grant or Parker. Which of you would like to jump up?
Grant, you have this, or you want me to cover it?
Oh, I can cover this. I thought you were going to cover it.
Okay, sounds good.
But,
yeah, so the plan right now is to do the new Tel mint on September 24th. It's a Thursday. We think that the upgrade at that time will give us enough ability from both a technical perspective and exchange perspective, and a marketing perspective to get this done and do it right, while still not encumbering the mainnet launch. So there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes related to integrating with the partners in terms of centralized exchanges as well as the on-chain infrastructure that needs to support the new token. And of course, a huge part of that is just bringing the word to the market. So we're really stoked that we have this proposal approved. It's really the next step in advance of bringing the main network to life, and a really important one that will enable us to have really cheap gas costs, priced properly, and the ability to integrate with everyone across the EVM. Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah, no, thank you for that. And I think last on the agenda there is open Q&A. So were there any questions that we've seen from the chats that have popped up? Has anyone spied anything? If you can pop it in the chat, then I can say.
Yeah, give me a second. I've got a bunch I'll send you. Hold on.
Amazing. Thank you. All right, perfect. Thank you for that. So the first question, can users send money immediately via the app once Mainnet launches, or is there a delay? Is anyone able to?
Yeah, I can jump in. So, the users will be able to send money instantly on the network. The app, that'll be a separate release via Telcoin Inc. And so you should certainly expect a delay related to the day that Mainnet goes live and when we're able to integrate that into the Telcoin wallet. But I can't give you the specific date right now. They'll need to get Mainnet live, working, and yeah, so that's about it. There's no delay to it. It's just that we're working towards getting there.
Which follows on perfectly to the next question. Is 2026 still the year for Mainnet, or is it later?
2026 is the year for Mainnet.
Love it. So if security assessment clears in 2 weeks and the TEL3 upgrade has started, is Mainnet launch imminent? Technically, we cannot say.
That's correct. And, there's so many different moving parts to have a successful mainnet launch, not only in coordination with our security partners and ensuring that all of these findings are correctly patched. There's also participation from a decentralized network of validators that is onboarding, and those are, each one of these companies, and there's different global jurisdictions involved, different legal departments, different data center installations. There's also integrating with our bridge partners, Layer 0, and all of these things are working behind the scenes, and not to mention just having meaningful use cases and applications on the network as well. So, all these things really we're working to have them come together. I will say that the biggest obstacle for Mainnet is just security and making sure that our network is ready for production. And to that, we're making tremendous progress. And so we not going to give an exact date here, but we're really pleased with the progress, and yeah, it's imminent.
So yeah, so going back to it, 2026 is the year, and imminent is the word. So is the 2 decimal to 18 decimal upgrade before or after the mainnet launch?
It will be before, and yes, we as Parker mentioned, the 24th, and really, that's a really conservative date, but that's one that we feel confident we'll be able to have enough time to coordinate with all of our partners and the entire ecosystem to move as a team to the upgraded TEL3.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So going on to, there's been a few questions about advisor. So when will the name be announced? When will the identity? There's been quite a few questions there. Would anyone like to
Yeah.
take that one?
I've got this one. Yeah, so we're thinking right around mainnet is the time period that we want to announce that, and we've spoken back and forth about it, and it seems to be the right approach. We're really looking forward to being able to bring all the exciting developments that we've been working towards for so many years to market, and it sounds like it's going to be quite a string of them in a row. And so, yeah, we're stoked, and it's been a very successful advisory overall. In the past couple of weeks, we've developed a variety of different things that are just huge. One of them was for the UN. We developed a project in partnership with, there'll be more information about that later, but we put together a proposal for the pretty exciting African development that we think will be potentially a big winner for us in demonstrating the viability of a global blockchain network that is capable of bringing payments to local jurisdictions. So by providing these local one-to-one rails into a global ledger and connecting all the telecoms, we have a great opportunity to solve real world problems. And one of them is social safety net spending. And so we've been working with someone closely from the World Bank as well as with our advisor and internally to bring a proposal that we feel is going to really bring blockchain to life for people in a way that matters and impacts them. So yeah, that's been huge, and there's just so many different things that we're doing really on a daily basis with the advisor that maybe we can't talk about them today, but it'll be a great announcement when we have them, and the councils have officially met him as well. So yeah, it's been a great few months to kick this off, and we just want to make sure that we bring this announcement to market at the right time, and that's around mainnet. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So we're moving on to the governance and council sector question. So will validators get council representation, and do they need to apply soon?
Absolutely. So in terms of apply soon, so basically right now the TAO votes on behalf of validators until we've reached a quorum of 10 that are operating on the full main network for Telcoin network. And so the TAO will govern that area and vote on behalf of validators until we reach that quorum, but they certainly will be a major portion of the governance system. We really included the rest of the stakeholders across the platform and governance, but validators are absolutely as important as it gets, just like everyone else is. But as the base layer, security engine of the system, their interests and preferences are really important to making this a real world network that matters and applies to their markets.
That's right. And, just to add to that, I think it's worth understanding why it's not necessarily a fast process. The formal representation on a decentralized autonomous organization is really new territory for every single MNO. And there's not a lot of established internal policies at these organizations for how to participate in this kind of governance structure work. So, every partner is having to do genuinely novel work in order to determine what it looks like for them. So, on timing, I think the application process is not a closing window. It's something that council seats recur every year. And there's open seats as well. So, there's opportunity to move in, and council members can also step down, as someone who holds a validator seat too. I think, what ultimately, I'm confident in saying that, everybody's heart is in the right place and just doing whatever we need to do to make sure that the network is launched with success. So in the meantime, TAO's ongoing communications with those partners and the prospective partners and advising throughout the process. So.
And thank you so much. So Grant, the next question is based on security. You've already covered it earlier, but just to reiterate, someone's asked, any serious security concerns right now, or are they just minor issues?
Well, there's security is serious at all times. I will say that last summer we held a competition and we had some very fundamental architectural changes. So at this point, so far throughout these 3 weeks, we have nothing that would force a significant architectural change, right? And this report will be publicly available. And security is something that it never ends. So as of right now, yeah, no major delays on the horizon, but we stay vigilant.
Love that. Perfect. So, the next question is about competition. How concerning is bank-led competing networks?
Concerning is what?
Sorry, this
Bank-led
was just
competing networks.
Yeah.
He's talking about Bank Chain, which is this initiative that was announced, I believe, yesterday,
Yeah.
related to a set of banks across the U.S. that have launched or are launching a blockchain network. The thing that we're doing here that is different, and there are a lot of them, but one thing that I think makes this whole thing work is the ability to plug local telecoms and therefore their local business systems, their local currencies, their markets, their products into one global unified ledger. If you can create a consortium around the US and their banking system, maybe that works in the US, but what about the rest of the world? How do we align an institution with the right attributes for actually producing a blockchain network and then distributing it to their customers? How do we align them around the same blockchain and bring that to life for the rest of the world in a way that can foster, let's say, an on-chain foreign exchange ecosystem that enables remittances, intercarrier settlements, payments between companies? How do you do that? Well, you certainly can't make a walled garden in the USA to do that. You can make an on-chain payment system and provide cool things like tokenized deposits and the like. But I would ask the question, how much different is that than what we already have, and how does it scale globally? But we also have the banking aspect down, right? And that's a critical component. And then when you combine, these sort of global local ecosystems that have banking that will plug into this network, I think we've achieved something great. And so the answer really is it's not overly concerning. It sounds like an opportunity to partner with those groups. And it's interesting to see all of these banks come to market. But you gotta remember, they don't operate networks as a service. Banks don't have these massive data centers. They're not skilled at this. There's only one industry that's skilled at this, and that's telecoms. And that maybe besides, the mining industry for cryptocurrency, but that's very nascent. These folks have been operating networks for decades. And so I think it's a very noble attempt. I would be really intrigued to see if an incentive alignment is there at all. The collaboration between the stakeholders that are producing this network and their tie to that network exclusively, or do they really care? So I think it speaks to how the U.S. has evolved over the past couple of years from the most draconian anti-crypto country in the world to now we're seeing banks launch bank chain. But it doesn't necessarily excite me in anywhere remotely that Telcoin does, because I think Telcoin has made something that has the banking industry in the US and abroad, but also has the right participants that are producing this blockchain for finance and ultimately everything. And I could go on about how we've developed a system that has inclusive ownership and is defensible at scale. When you have the entire value chain involved in the ownership and production of the system, then of course they're going to use that one versus the one that they're not involved in. But I think the telecom distribution and alignment really beats any bank chain that you can find. And I do wish them success. I'm not looking at this as a competitive thing, but you asked the question, and so I think that we're winning.
I love that, the confidence there. So perfect. Thank you so much. Moving on to the MNO integration and network activity questions. One is, how many MNOs will run on the network at launch?
Well, today we have 10 validators on the network for testnet, which that number is not arbitrary. Our committee structure is designed around 10 validators per rotating committee. And that's really the minimal number that we need to thoroughly exercise consensus, fault tolerance, deployment schedules, and the operational realities of running a network. So the larger validator set is at launch is going to be, additional coordination overhead, and just the protocol team right now is moving with momentum to get a finished secure product. So long term, like the goal is to be the most widely adopted blockchain protocol for telcos in the world. And I think you measure that through across the validators, but also network traffic and the developers and the applications that build on the network. And growing the validator set is one of the minor councils, and it is a part of that. And that's work that is continuing now. It continues after launch, and it's going to continue for the foreseeable future.
Perfect. And it was mentioned previously as well that MNOs will be coming in on phases as well. So we've got the launch ones and then different phases of MNOs.
And each of those will launch in their own sort of phases as well, right?
Yeah.
Because what does it take to re-platform an existing mobile financial services application and the local money system onto a blockchain? Well, what it takes is more than one step. So we're working closely with a variety of these groups, and it's been a very exciting. I mean, I'm seeing more progress on that than I've seen yet in my career at Telcoin, and so it's happening fast at the right time, and we're very optimistic.
Perfect. So MNOs testing integration with existing mobile money platforms on testnet.
You can just say that it all happens in phases, and we're working towards that. And we're certainly talking to those groups, and they are very interested across the world. So,
perfect. So the next question then is, what apps and services are testnet MNOs expected to deploy?
Well, I'll just zoom out and speak to the strategy and the products. Our strategy is certainly not everything for everyone all at once. It is to bring meaningful products on chain that enable a global financial infrastructure to impact people's lives around the world in ways that they just don't get with the existing financial system. And so we're trying to be something that matters for a large group of people, and to segment out and focus on the right stakeholders to bring that to life. And that also involves not trying to look at every new fancy thing and bring it on chain and put our limited resources towards it. What it involves is money, so the on-chain tokenization of money into stable coins around the world, connected to local rails through our partners and through Telcoin and a variety of others. So we want to create this internet of money and really, point our resources on a corridor by corridor specific case until we get the right markets in place to enable the larger true scale use cases and to have sustainable corridors and really FX markets on chain. And so that doesn't involve going to every single Web3 application in the world and saying, let's come on a Telcoin network, pay a bunch of money. What it involves is, let's find the exact right partners that we need to launch this on-chain money use case. It also, so our first focus is the internet of money. On-chain FX powered products such as remittances and inter-carrier settlements. The second one is tokenized telecom infrastructure. And so that means basically there's all sorts of different productive assets around the world that the telecoms have available. And it means bringing them on chain to improve access, efficiencies, alignment with products in terms of their users, and basically turning them into owners. And the last one is agentic. And so this is an exponential growth curve area that we are focused, right now we actually have in development a really impressive demo that Grant and the team and our advisor have been working on that fills the gap here for telecoms in a way that I don't think any of the solutions do. But as I said, it's exponential. These things grow fast. It will be gradually then suddenly in that space. And we're planning for that future, but we're not planning to be everything for everyone all at once. And so just to sum up, it's money, it's tokenized telecom assets, and it's agentic, and everything else we'll build towards eventually, but we get those things right and we win. So we don't need to be everything at the beginning. Thank you.
Perfect. So moving on to the Telcoin Bank and their products. Is there any update on the debit card side of things or lending from Telcoin Digital Asset Bank?
Nothing that I can provide here today, but I see the request for the QBRs, and we will absolutely get back to you. It's a work in progress.
Okay, appreciate that. And then another question on the bank side. Telcoin isn't available in New York, and they're asking, why is that the case? It's a bank and not an exchange.
Yeah. So I'm not going to speak specifically to Telcoin's compliance, but I will say that in New York they have a very impressive regulatory regime that has put together what's called a BIT license, and there are a handful of companies that have that today. And so yeah, that I would just say that it's a market that is, of course, the epicenter of finance in the world, but it's also a difficult one. It's well regulated, but costly, and so I would say that it's that will take time.
Okay, and the next question is for Nick. So firstly, great work on the website. Is there any targeted time of completion, i.e. weeks or months?
Yeah, great question. I mean, the official build time for this phase 3 was set at 12 weeks. We're circa halfway through. So, I think that hopefully the company we're working with have not let us down on phase 1 or phase 2 on the timelines. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't have completed it, well, at least the first version that will go live. I do believe we'll have to update stuff and tweak content, etc. But yeah, I mean, I reckon we're sort of circa 6 weeks, maybe a touch longer away from it. But yeah, we're in the final part, and I know everyone's keen to see it. And believe you me, I want to get that out and released as soon as possible. So I'm not going to stop until that day that it's uploaded and everyone can see it.
I can vouch for that. These guys do not stop. They swear they live on caffeine or something and just no sleep. It's amazing to watch. So on the next then, do we know how many estimated users we can expect at Mainnet launch? A ballpark figure on the partnerships we have and the amount of bandwidth we can handle. The second part of that, can we handle a massive rush to Mainnet?
On user numbers, I'm not going to speculate. Any figure I could say today would just really be a guess. So on capacity though, definitely more useful there. The protocol team is building out benchmarking data so that we can have some actual numbers to quote. But from what we have internally tested, we have not been able to disrupt our services with the best of our bots' ability to just blast RPCs with transactions. We actually hit like rate limits on load balancers before the protocol is really suffering. One of the designed core features of this protocol, as well as the horizontal scalability. And once we have the multi-worker lanes set up, that'll truly unlock. But as it stands right now, with a 10 validator set, each validator can produce up to 5 Ethereum blocks per second. So that would be, yeah. And there's 2 Ethereum blocks per round, and the rounds are per second. So we're looking at like 100 Ethereum blocks of 30 million gas limits on Telcoin network for protocol limitations. Again, we run out of like transaction pool mem space before we've been seeing any sort of bottlenecks, but that's just anecdotal. I'm looking forward to having real benchmark data here in the weeks ahead.
Appreciate the answer. Parker, this one's for you. Parker, are you able to request Paul on behalf of the Tel fam to join a meeting? We know he's extremely busy, but it'd be lovely. It'd be really nice if he could give a short update on the holding side.
Sure. You got it. I'll ask.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
I said, you bet. I will ask for sure.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. And is Maven Rain a bot or human because he works around the clock?
You know, the same thing. Yeah, that is our latest addition to the team, and Oni's absolutely crushing it. So we're really excited to see him on here. He's I'd call him a genius. And he's a pleasure to work with, and yes, he is truly fascinated by code, and we love it.
Yeah, he's a robot.
Going back to all that caffeine again. Okay, I believe that was all the questions we've had. No other questions in stream. Okay, so we're just going to wrap up the meeting then. So thank you everyone for joining our 45th Platform and Treasury Council meeting. Can't believe there's been 45 already. Our next meetings are September the 10th, September the 24th, and October the 8th. So we've said it before, 2026 is the year of Telcoin. Mainnet is coming, and MNO validators are setting up and actively testing. So the Telcoin blockchain standard is becoming that reality. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Yeah, thank you again.
Thank you. Only one.
Hold on one second here. Hold the phone really quick.
Oh.
I had one that came through. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
I had one that came through that they said they didn't get their question answered, so I'm trying to find it really quick.
Yeah.
Give me a moment.
Okay, no worries.
Whoever that is, you want to repeat it again, please go ahead. I want to make sure we're not missing anybody. Sorry, guys. 1 second. I'll look as well.
Apologies if I missed a question there.
If you're in the chat, maybe you could repost your questions.
I see it here. The question was, did the association join in on the RFP, or is there an RFP for the bank chain? I'm not really sure. Maybe you can clarify a little more, but
The association continues to be exclusively focused on Telcoin network as its foundational blockchain layer. We're not going to invest our limited resources in bank chain. We will be investing them in Telcoin network, folks. You heard it here first.
Love that.
Awesome.
The
That's it,
confidence
guys.
again. Perfect. Yeah. So I think that is all the questions then now. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you. See you in 2
Great
weeks.
job, Adam. Bye.
Everyone.